Oh, hi. You showed up again for your learning. What a delight. All right, here we want to find in question 9a, and don't ask me why this jumps from question 1 to question 9. I don't have the answers to tough questions like that. But we're trying to solve for this unknown. And the cool thing here is, hey, Gabby, we have a hot dog. Look. Are you as excited as I am that there's a hot dog of information there, an associated angle and side? I'm pretty excited. So that means, yay, we get to use sine law. Now, the thing that's disguised from you in my thinking is I've already checked this triangle for right angles and found none. Because there's no right angles, I can't just use sine, cosine, tangent. I have to use one of the laws, and sine law is simpler. So let's set it up. We want to find an unknown side, so let's put our sides on top. Z over sine of this, sine 75. And remember, we only take the sines of angles, not sides, is equal to 3.6 over sine 37 degrees. Get out your inverse operations pen for some good old inverse operations. Here we're dividing by some number. That number happens to be sine 75. So I'll multiply both sides by sine 75. And you will get not 70.5, 7.5, 75. There we go. And then you will get an exact expression for z. Z, because this cancels. That's why we multiplied, because we were dividing. The opposite of division is multiplication. So we want to get that cancellation. So z is equal to 3.6 multiplied by sine 75, all divided by sine 37. Calculate it. 3.6 multiplied by 75, but I take the sine of it, and I find my equals button hiding under my face, and I divide that by 37, but I take the sine of it. Before I push equals, I want to guess. I guess that this is going to be a good deal longer than 3.6. I'm thinking something like 7. Oh, 5.77, so 5.8. Z equals 5.8 centimeters. Circle it as your final answer and put it up there. 5.8 cm. Okay. My guess is 7. Wasn't that bad. Still, I'm confident that I didn't make a chubby finger calculator error. Looks good. Okay. Now this one here. Uh-oh. There ain't no hot dog of information over here. We have a side, and then an angle, and then a side. And these sassy type questions are typically solved by cosine law. All right, so when these questions get sassy, out comes the cosine law. So we want to solve for this unknown side here. So let's go for it. The setup of cosine law that's going to be useful to us is, well, normally we have it as a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. But here my letters are D, E, and F. So let's use those letters instead. The important thing is to note that whatever side is over here is the angle we're taking the cosine of, and that measure A does not show up in the squares or in this minus 2bc bit. So that is to say I should have like a squared isolated on one side and then the cosine A on the other. We're popular. And we're back. Let's go. So let's set it up in a useful way. D squared, that's this little one here, and we're going to be taking the cosine of D at the end. D squared is equal to this squared, so 7 squared, plus this squared, 3 squared, minus 2 times 7 times 3 times cosine of D. Another way to think about this and make sure that your formula is set up right is that these two sides that are on opposite sides of this angle, that's all information that ends up on that side of the equation, and this is alone on the other side of the equation. And now I'm realizing that's way too many arrows. Let's get rid of the arrows. All right, let's go. So we're solving for D. All right, so now we can plug and chug all this. D squared is equal to 49 plus 9, because those are 7 squared and 3 squared. Let's cross our 7s. for consistency. Minus 2 times 7 times 3. Well, that's 40. That's my age. 42 times cosine of, I forgot to sub it in there. I'll sub it in here. 34. It's one of my favorite numbers, 34. All right, I like this problem. Who made this problem? Wasn't me. Okay, 49 plus 9 happens to be 58. So d squared is equal to 58 plus all that. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do it on my calculator. Okay, so let's move it over. Put that in. 58 minus 42 times 34, but I take the cosine of it, equals 57.9. D squared equals 57.9. And then, well, let's write that down. That's useful. 57.9. And then our last inverse operation, the one to bring it all home, take the square root of both sides, because I don't want to know what d squared is, I want to know what d is. So the inverse operation of squaring is square root. So do that. So square root that. 7.6. Cool. Looks believable. 7.6. Great. D equals 7.6. And we're done. And that's that. So any questions, hit me up by email. Otherwise, thank you for showing up for your learning, and I'll see you in the next video.